Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is targeting 5 players to overhaul the Manchester United squad. So far Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made 4 permanent signings at Manchester United. Last summer he recommended Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire into the football club, and in January he brought Bruno Fernandes in, and of course he got Odion Ighalo on loan. At the start of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure at the club, he said he wanted to make around 9 signings, and I think he agreed this with Mike Phelan, who's our assistant. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into Manchester United. Obviously, we saw Valencia leave the football club last summer after he endured 10 years with Manchester United. We saw Ashley Young leave. In January, he went to Inter Milan after he endured 8.5 years at Manchester United. We saw Dean Henderson go out on loan. We saw Chris Smalling go out on loan to Roma last summer. We saw Rojo go out on loan to Estudiantes in January. We saw Darmian leave the football club last summer. We saw Herrera leave. He went to PSG. Herrera did endure 5 years with Man United. We saw Fellaini leave in January 2019. He was the first player to leave under the Solskjaer era. We saw Romelu Lukaku leave last summer. He went to Inter Milan. And we saw Alexis Sanchez go out on loan to Inter Milan last summer. And the other week, Angel Gomez had left the football club. So there's a lot of players on our agenda. And there is a lot of uncertainty regarding the summer transfer window because of the financial impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Now, I think our transfer budget will be revealed. It will be revealed if we get qualification for the Champions League. Our transfer budget is uncertain at the moment. One thing we do know regarding the summer transfer window, it is opening on the 27th of July. Solskjaer has told Ed Woodward the positions he wants to strengthen up, and he said to Ed Woodward that he wants to recommend a striker in. We are in search for the right winner. We're also looking to get a centre defensive midfielder in, and we're also looking to get a centre-half in. Despite the fact that we've got 7 centre-halves in the team, there's some reports saying that Solskjaer's looking to recommend a left-back in to Manchester United. But the summer transfer window will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. He has been Manchester United manager now for over a year and a half, and I have taken positives from his tenure so far. So, the players that are on our agenda now, as you all know, Jadon Sancho is our number 1 priority target, and he has been our number 1 priority target for a while. Now, Borussia Dortmund are willing to sell Jadon Sancho for the right price. Simon Stone, who's from the BBC, he recently says that Manchester United are confident that they can get a deal over the line for Sancho. Christian Falk recently said that Manchester United have not yet put a bid in for the player. Borussia Dortmund do remain ruthless over their valuation because they have said that they want at least £100 million for Jadon Sancho. Recent reports have said that we're only willing to pay £80 million. But I think Jadon Sancho has already revealed that he wants to leave Borussia Dortmund. He has still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. Dortmund got him for next to nothing. They only paid around £8 million in from Man City. But this has been now his 3rd season at Dortmund, so analysing his performances in the few years he's been with them, his valuation has persistently grown. And all of that. And I've outlined the reasons why I want Sancho at Man United is because he's well proven in the Premier League, and plus he's got a very, very good friendship with Rashford. There's 4 things we need to assure for Sancho if he comes to Manchester United, and we've got to give him playing time, put him in his preferred position. Obviously, his preferred position is a right winger. Obviously, get qualification for the Champions League, and obviously, make other signings. I think we've got until the 10th of August to sign Sancho because Borussia Dortmund have already set their deadline. Don't forget, quite a few weeks ago, it had confirmed that we've already agreed personal terms with Sancho, and it said he's agreed a 5-year contract worth around £140,000 a week. But I think we've recently been in negotiations with Sancho, and negotiations have been at an advanced stage. We're not only looking to get Sancho in, we're also looking to get Jack Grealish in. Grealish is another one of our priority targets. If Aston Villa do get relegated, then I do presume that Grealish will leave. But if Villa were to stay up, then maybe Grealish could stay at Villa for another season. I think if Villa were to get relegated, Grealish would be available for around 40, maybe £50 million. But Villa did say earlier on in the season that they do want around 80 million for Jack Grealish. There's also been stories coming out saying that Man United are in for Nathan Ake from Bournemouth. He says we're set to challenge City and Chelsea, for the signing of Nathan Ake. I think Bournemouth do value Nathan Ake at around £35 million. This has been Nathan Ake's third season with Bournemouth, and I think he's made over 100 appearances for them. He has got a contract with Bournemouth until 2022. Bournemouth did pay £20 million for him from Chelsea because he actually began his footballing career with Chelsea. I think Chelsea do have the option to buy Nathan Ake back because there's some kind of buyback clause included in the deal. He also had loan spells with Reading and Watford, and Nathan Ake is only at the age of 25. But City, like I said, are also looking to get him on the board. Chelsea have done very, very good transfer business so far. I think they have now made 3 signings under Lampard and 3 signings so far for the summer. They got Werner from Leipzig for 48 million. They got Hakim Ziyech back in February for around 37, or was it 38 million? So that's around 80 million on 2 players. And I think they've recently just got Kai Havertz for 80 million pounds. So that's around 160 million pounds Chelsea have spent so far on 3 players. So they have, done very, very good business. And like I said, we've got big decisions to make in the summer transfer window, of what players, we're going to recommend in and what players we are going to get rid of. I think we're going to get rid of at least 6 players in the summer transfer window. I think we're going to be looking to get rid of Phil Jones, looking to get rid of Smalling and Rojo permanently. I think we'll be looking to get rid of Diego Dalot because Dalot is not good enough to represent Manchester United. I think we'll also be looking to get rid of Jesse Lingard and Andres Pereira. And hopefully, we can get rid of Alexis Sanchez permanently. If we could get rid of Sanchez permanently, it would free up our wage bill completely. But we get rid of players in the summer transfer window, we are going to generate money. Before the resumption of the season, I think it had confirmed that we'd taken around a £140 million loan from our £150 million revolving credit facility to help us get the right calibre players into the football club. Like I said to you on one of my recent videos, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's I give you Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 2 biggest tests at Manchester United. I think the summer transfer window is a big test for him, and I think next season's a big test for him because next season we're hopeful that we can enjoy a better season. Solskjaer next season will have bigger expectations to exceed. I think our expectations next season will be to challenge for the Premier League title because this has been the 7th season now we have failed to mount any kind of title challenge up, and we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. So the last time we won it was in Ferguson's last season. As it stands at the moment, we are the most successful team in England because we have won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier Leagues. It's the most successful team in Premier League history. But we have got to spend money to compete with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. If we can win a title, it will be our 21st title. And hopefully, we can win a title under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We have got priorities for the remainder of this season. The top 4 is a priority for us because we know how important Champions League qualification is for our players, attracting players and financial structure. And also the Europa League is a priority for us because if we do win the Europa League, we'd have won a trophy. And that'll be the first trophy we'd have won under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And, we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years now. And that's the first time since, the 1990s. But if we win the Europa League anyway, we'll get automatic qualification for the Champions League. But like I said, Solskjaer does deserve at least another season at Manchester United because this has been his first full season at the football club, and it is a transition period, and it has been a transition period for a while. And Solskjaer said at the turn of the year that he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. Like I said to before, the vast majority of these players are not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. The vast majority of these players are Jose Mourinho's. There's still a few players here from the Van Gaal era, still Matty here from the Moyes era, and there's still a few players here from the Ferguson era. And Solskjaer's inheriting all of them players, don't forget. So we do need to give him at least a couple of more transfer windows. Solskjaer did confirm one thing: he will not tolerate any rotten apples in the squad. He warned our players about this, quite a few weeks ago. Like I said to you before, we are facing a dilemma regarding the contracts because we have got around 8 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. So we have got to make a decision on these 8 players. But we've extended a lot of players' contracts since Solskjaer anyway came into the football club. Some players have deserved contracts and some other players, haven't deserved contracts and that. But in the last 7 years, we have made a lot of mistakes, and that's probably not only the explanation, but it's one of the main explanations why we have been so inconsistent. In the last 7 years, we've had different managers with different philosophies. We spent £900 million on players, and we've recruited over 30 odd players in since the Ferguson era. Under Moyes, we brought Fellaini and Juan Mata in. Under Van Gaal, we brought players like Schneiderlin in, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Herrera, Blind, Rojo, Damian, Martial, Shaw, Romero, Memphis Depay. So we brought a lot of players in under Louis Van Gaal era. And, Jose Mourinho brought 11 players into the football club. But I think a lot of the players we've recruited in the last 7 years haven't been the right calibre players for Manchester United. Like I said, the manager that's had the longest tenure at the club since Ferguson left was Jose Mourinho, because Jose Mourinho endured 2.5 years at the club, won the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season. Louis Van Gaal, he endured 2 years at the club, won the FA Cup under him, and Moyes only lasted, was it 8 or 9 months? But Ferguson was at the fault for ever recommending him in. Forever recommending him in. Like I said though, no one at the football club will replicate Alex Ferguson's legacy. No one will last as long as Alex Ferguson did. Because Ferguson endured 26 years at the football club, endured 22 years of success, because don't forget, Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United. Took him time to settle in, but Ferguson did win a total of 38 major honours at the football club. That's where our success came from under Alex Ferguson. Even, before Ferguson, we was inconsistent. Because we weren't so good under Ron Atkinson, weren't good under Franco Farrell, because we got relegated under Franco Farrell back in 1974. Also, too, weren't good under Wolf McGuinness. I think Wolf McGuinness endured like 18 months at the football club and only managed to recruit 1 player in that. But yeah, so I think we can get back being competitive under Solskjaer. Like I said, I've seen improvements under Solskjaer. Like I said, Solskjaer's promoted the youth well and all of that, and, I've seen some improvements on the pitch, but there's still things that Manchester United need to improve on. Maybe we need to be a bit more clinical in front of goal. Maybe defensively we need to improve. Maybe we need to be quicker on the ball. We also need to be quicker on the flanks. Maybe certain players need to step up to the plate. But the good thing is that, we are still unbeaten in our last 13 Premier League games. We haven't lost in the Premier League since that 2-0 loss to Burnley back in January. We did go on a 19-game unbeaten run until Chelsea had ended that, of course. Solskjaer's got a big decision to make on David De Gea. I've been hearing rumours today saying that Sergio Romero is considering leaving the football club because we have decided that we're sticking with David De Gea. A lot of Man United fans said they want to see David De Gea leave in the summer transfer window, or they want to see David De Gea dropped. Possibly, next season Dean Henderson could become our number 1 goalkeeper. He really, really could. Now, Solskjaer did recently say that David De Gea has got to raise his game at Manchester United, and he did say that his position is under threat. David De Gea has been a long servant at the football club. This has now been his 9th season at Man United. He's made 403 appearances for the football club in all competitions, and he's approaching his 10th year at the football club. David De Gea did recently say that he intends to stay at the football club for several years. David De Gea, I think, has had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been with us, because in the last couple of years he has been a liability, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he has made. But I said, didn't I, when David De Gea leaves Manchester United, I think he'll probably go back to Spain anyway. Solskjaer was talking a lot about David De Gea a few weeks ago, saying that he's been the best goalkeeper in the world for the last 9 or 10 years or so. So he's got, he's probably got a decision to make on him. There's a few decisions he's got to make at the football club. There really, really is. And you saw my video that I did yesterday. I gave you my preview for the Man United Leicester game. Obviously, it is our final game of the Premier League season, and it is a top 4 decider. So if we draw with Leicester or we beat Leicester, we will get qualification for the Champions League. All we have to do is avoid defeat. Won't be an easy game though against Leicester. I think Leicester have enjoyed an exceptional season. They have been in a bit of a bad vein of form recently because they lost to Tottenham 3-0. But let's put into the equation, Leicester have lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. They lost Maguire to us last summer. They lost Raheem Mahrez to City in the summer of 2018. They lost Danny Drinkwater. They also lost N'Golo Kante, and I think they've lost a few other players. But on the other hand, Leicester have recruited quite a few good players in recent years under Brendan Rodgers. I think that Dennis Pryor's done very, very well for them. Dennis Pryor's done very, very well for them. Yori Tillemans has done well for them. I think Leicester paid around £40 million for him, so he's like Leicester's most expensive signing. Obviously, Perez has done quite well for them since he came in. Leicester have also got James Justin. And I think Brendan Rodgers has done a very, very good job with Leicester. I think he's been at Leicester now over a year. Don't forget, earlier on in the season, Brendan Rodgers extended his contract with Leicester until 2025. So he signed, a 5-year deal. Brendan Rodgers, though, will want to get one over Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think, since Solskjaer came in, we have beat Leicester a few times. I think, we beat them early on in the season, 1-0 at Old Trafford, beating them at the King Power last season by 1-0. But Leicester also know how important Champions League qualification is. Leicester have got a few injuries, by the way. I want to confirm. Obviously, they've got Ben Chilwell injured, so that's good news from our perspective because Ben Chilwell's a very, very good left back. I think they've got Christian Fuchs out with injury. They've got Armati out with injury. James Maddison's out, and he's another one of Leicester's good players. So that's some more good news from a Man United perspective. Don't forget we was in for James Maddison earlier on in the season. Ricardo Pereira, I think he's also out injured, and Leicester have also got Marco Brighton out with injury. And I think Leicester have also got a player suspended. So reflect on these injuries Leicester have got. From a Leicester perspective, it would be interesting to see how they do approach this game. Leicester have actually not got a bad record against us. They've only won 1 of their 13 Premier League home games against us. And that result came back in 2014 when Leicester did beat us by 5-3. We need to win this game against Leicester because, we are winless in our last 2 games. We drew with West Ham. West Ham recently 1-1. And, we lost at Chelsea by 3-1 in the FA Cup semi-final. So we have got to get back to winning ways. I think Solskjaer will make some change in this game against Leicester from the 1-1 draw with West Ham. Weren't the best of performances, was it, against West Ham? Obviously, we got the draw. It was better than losing. Obviously, Paul Pogba had come out and apologised for the penalty he gave away because Paul Pogba blatantly handballed Declan Rice's free kick to give the penalty away and that. And I think Paul Pogba's looked a bit off the pace in the last few games, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I think towards the start of the resumption of the season, Paul Pogba made a fantastic impact. I think Paul Pogba will commit his future with Manchester United because I think he will end up signing a new long-term contract. Don't forget, Fabrizio Romano did recently say that Man United want to extend Pogba's contract. And Pogba's agent, Mino Raiola, is waiting for the offer. There was a lot of stories coming out last week saying that Man United are close to getting him a 5-year contract, and this contract is expected to be announced at the end of the season. But if we get him a new long-term contract, it will end the uncertainty over his future. Didn't really have a perception on Paul Pogba earlier on in the season because he was out with that ankle injury. So it's good of Paul Pogba, to come out and apologise. Luke Shaw, I think he's going to be available for the game against Leicester, so Williams will be dropped and, Shaw will play ahead of Williams. Luke Shaw has missed our last 3 games with an ankle injury. And that's my only element of concern about Luke Shaw, is that he is injury prone. But prior to that, very, very good left back. This has now been Luke Shaw's 6th season at Man United. He sustained the ankle injury in our 2-2 draw with Southampton. We know that Tuanzebe and Phil Jones are still out with injury. Merrick Bay, his head injury, was not too severe like Solskjaer recently confirmed. He got discharged from hospital not too long ago. But he did remain in London the other day to obviously, see out all the checks. Again, same sort of perception with Luke Shaw. My only element of concern about Bay is that he is injury prone. But some United fans would actually play Eric Bay ahead of Victor Lindelof and that. So I think they're the only injuries that Manchester United have got. But definitely Solskjaer's team selection in a lot of games this season have been very questionable. His team selection was totally wrong against Chelsea. I already went through with you the mistakes he made against Chelsea. Maybe got a few things wrong against West Ham as well. Like I said, in a lot of games he hasn't really had a plan A or plan B. But on the other hand, in some games, Solskjaer tactically got it right. And he hasn't been tactically inept. I do expect in the game against Leicester for Wan-Bissaka to start. Wan-Bissaka did not start in the game against West Ham. I think he sustained a slight knock, so Fosu-Mensah played at right back instead. Maybe McTominay will play some part of the game against Leicester. McTominay has hardly played since the resumption of the season because, the Man United has been getting there ahead of McTominay. But before lockdown and that, McTominay was getting a lot of starts. Fred hasn't really played a lot of football recently. Obviously, Rashford, he'll definitely play against Leicester. Rashford weren't too good against West Ham, was he? Let's be honest. But I still think he's enjoyed a very, very good season. He was a big miss earlier on in the season, was Rashford, because he was out with that back injury. Also, too, Greenwood, he'll play. Greenwood's been in scintillating form. I thought Greenwood was one of our best players against West Ham. Don't forget he got the equaliser. That was his 50th appearance for the club, and Greenwood has now got 17 goals in all competitions this season for Man United, which is very, very good. And Solskjaer's been talking a lot about Mason Greenwood in recent weeks. Definitely the foreseeable future for Man United. Anthony Martial, he's enjoyed a very, very good season. I thought he was one of our best players against West Ham. He got the assist for Mason Greenwood's goal. The interchange between them, was very, very good. That led to the goal. Martial's had 2 good years out of the 5 years he's been here. He's done well this season under Solskjaer, and he did well in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. And as you all know, Martial has been playing in that central role this season. But he's looked very, very effective in that central role, even though that's not his predominant position. I think Bruno Fernandes has put a good performance out against Leicester. Bruno Fernandes in the last 3 games, I'd say, has looked a bit off the pace. He hasn't been poor, he's just looked a bit off the pace, and he's lacked that composure, which is unusual of Bruno Fernandes. But still definitely, one of the best players we have recruited in since the Alex Ferguson era. Bruno Fernandes has 9 goals for the football club since his arrival from Sporting Lisbon back in January. And he became the first player for Manchester United to win Premier League. He became the first player for Man United to win back-to-back Player of the Months since Cristiano Ronaldo. Bruno Fernandes won Player of the Month for June, and he also won it for February. But he's still definitely made the difference in the team. He really, really has. And that I think Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire have got to step up to the plate because they've been poor recently. They've made obviously a lot of mistakes in that. They've been taking far too many touches at the back. So they've also got to improve. Maybe Bissaka needs to step up to the plate because he's looked a bit fatigued in the last few games for Man United and all of that. But this is a very, very important game against Leicester. But like I said, Tina, I am surprised that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still Man United manager because I'm surprised he didn't get sacked, of how poor we was earlier on in the season, because earlier on in the season, we'd endured our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 years. And I thought Solskjaer was going to be sacked, but I've already given you the main explanations why he didn't get sacked as Manchester United manager. Because that unbeaten run also played a part in it. We went on a 19-game unbeaten run. We're still unbeaten in his last 13 league games, or is it 12 league games? Well, it's one of them. Like I said, the signing of Bruno Fernandes. Like I said, our record against the top 6 sides this season's been very, very good. I think, with Solskjaer being a club legend, that also plays a part in it because Solskjaer was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance and all of that. But I just still don't know if he's the foreseeable future for Man United. Time will tell. Solskjaer's got just under 2 years left, hasn't he, on his current contract? Because when he got the job permanently in March last year, he signed a 3-year contract at the football club, did Solskjaer, worth around £7.5 million a year. But reflecting how long he's been with us now, he has gained managerial experience because Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. So, yeah. So, anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.